Okay, folks, so let's have a look at what happens in this game. We need to go through the draft. I need to do draft. Draft is actually really important in these games. Thank you, Sam. We'll do Fnatic G2 Vod review.
Yep.
Okay. Right, let's go into this. Let's go into this. I need to move my camera as well, I know that. I know I need to do that. Camera stuff. There we go. I'll make my camera smaller as well at some point. I will just be over here for now. Kyle takes the win. Ah, Kyle was great, that's true. Okay, alright, so this is best of 1, 14.1, so not the patch we were just watching. And we will go into this. Volume's pretty low, that's fine. Okay. So, let's have a look at these bans first off, because that's obviously really important. Is there anything here that's off or anything that we want to talk about? So we have bot lane from Hansama, bot lane from Mickey and Hansama, bot lane here. Worth noting, Lucian is here. We don't see that much good Lucian. We have Renata. Now they won't be in the same kind of bracket. So we could see, but there's also Milio. So, this is an important thing. When we look at what's left through the bot lane bans here, folks, there's a lot of important stuff. So we have Lucian and Milio are the important ones that are left over, right? Particularly in the rest of the world. So, Lucian and Milio is an incredibly powerful duo. So what you'll often see is Lucian first picked because you're happy playing Lucian Nami. But you trade that for the Aphelios Milio a lot. Because the Aphelios Milio, it doesn't win the lane, but it can stop Lucian Nami doing some of what it wants if it hasn't snowballed. You can, if Lucian dashes into an Aphelios Milio, you kind of get burst out. So you don't always get priority as the Aphelios Milio, particularly when you head into the mid lane, but you can make some value out of that. So that's typically what we see when all of these champions are unbanned. But I'm interested in seeing whether that will be the mindset from both these teams, because that's not always the case. Not everyone has the same kind of priorities, right? So what's your first pick? I'm gonna two-tones this. You first pick in the Lucian? Elsewhere in the world you would. You could also go Azir. Azir's also not an awful answer here as well. Vi first pick, are you kidding me? What? Why would you do that? No, I'm sorry, my laptop stopped charging. Really annoying. That's really not good. So I don't have chat up right now. Vi first pick. So what does Vi do? Because Vi is a really weird champion. Vi is all about mid-jungle. Well, no, she used to be all about mid-jungle. Now she's about single target engage. What this is a LeBlanc counter. Well, LeBlanc answer. I'm going to call it an answer. Let me just make this. I'm trying to follow the logic here, right? Because you've given up the first pick of priority bot lanes. But you also know that Caps loves playing high mobility champions like the LeBlanc. And it means that if someone like Caps or Mickey goes for a big engage, instant snap engage comes out as a response from Fnatic. Like, it's really, really powerful. Like, that's one of the big things that you lock in a Vi for. So let's have a think about what this means. Because now does that mean that Broken Blade, Caps, and Mickey tend to go for something which is, you know, are they going to be able to lock in their mobile answers as well now? Because that's where Vi's value comes in. That's where Vi's value comes in. And instead we're going for the Varus. Do we go Varus Renata? Do we go double long range? Double long range with Varus as a poke option is actually okay. That's fine. That's a pretty good answer. This kind of draft, when you see a lot of... So why... just to take a step back and think... Why am I talking about the bot lane stuff and why is this stuff important elsewhere? It talks about the priorities that these teams have, right? So, this is the Lucian Milio that we talked about. And this is now going to go up against the Varus. Now, we have seen JDG recently play Varus Nautilus into this, because Varus has very good early damage as an AD carry. And you can go towards this. This has been the other answer, but this is ballsy. Level 1, you can hook the Milio, and you can win lane against this very, very hard. But you have to get an advantage. Because if you get towards one item, thank you, on the Lucian Milio, they just take over the game. You cannot afford to let them reach their items. You have to play this well. You have to hit hooks. And what you're picking this for now as well, this is actually important. This is important, actually. So you let through Lucian Milio. But you pick the strongest 3v3 bot you can. So what this means is that G2, they see the priority of the Lucian Milio and they say, okay, all right, what can we do about that? If they try and play around bot side early, we will just beat them over the head. So now we need to just put this on one side. Just put a question mark. Let's just look at 3v3 bot over here. I'm not going to leave too much text on the screen, but that one I will. Because this is what this first three means from G2. They choose not to go towards like the handshake where you concede a bit of pressure with something like the... well, I mean, obviously in this case, I mean, Fnatic didn't pick the Lucian first pick, but they're not conceding anything. They really want to play through dominant bot lane. I think that works really well for Hansammer and Mickey because they're not so good when they're not the focus. Or Hansammer struggled when he's not the focus. Second round bans, we're looking at... I mean, these are just blind pickable top laners. So maybe they want to have... Maybe they want to force us Grenin into Jax and then pick a Jax counter, because what else are you going to blind pick in top lane now? You could pick Udyr. So you've got Udyr Jax, right, as the last couple of picks. Banning out the Orianna from Caps, though. Huh. So they plot... So what this... okay. So what this means is, we see the Orianna here. When you see Orianna, you typically want to lock in something like an Azir, because Azir can kind of lose to the Orianna sometimes. So then you lock in the Akali and say, go on then, pick one of your mages. You want to pick mages? Nah, I'll pick the Akali. Now the problem is you are picking Vi. You've picked Akali into Vi, so that's one of the mobility champions which Fnatic knew was going to come out of Caps likely. And they do pick the Jax as the blind pick. So you can counter pick top lane. Not many top laners do this, but you can counter pick top lane. Funnily enough, I was in studio for this game, by the way, so I do remember this game somewhat. And they pick out the Vladimir. So now the problem is, you have two losing side lanes for the Jax. So when it gets to the point where top laners are running across the map and trying to face against another solo laner, Akali beats you and Vladimir beats you. I think late game, like hyper late game, 6 items, Jax can beat Vladimir. But Vladimir at like 2-3 items is so obnoxious to play against. It's very, very hard to play against. So let's have a look at the end of this draft. So we've got the 3v3 bot point, which we put up here, which is actually very important because if you're playing around the Lucian Milio, don't get me wrong, Vi can be quite good about that. But before level 3, Vi can't do shit. So if you're fighting at level 2 to just about level 3, G2 should have the advantage. I think that there's even an argument to say walk in with Vi Nautilus early level, like level 1, and see if you can punish the Vi level 1, which is one of the worst of any jungler in the game. Your level 1 is awful. Go talk to Gilius about that, by the way. Gilius is a very knowledgeable person on jungle matchups, obviously. And then, yeah, we'll see what they manage to do with that. So there's some early game onus on G2. They don't want to let this Lucian Milio get ahead. Because if Lucian Milio reaches 1 item without much happening, they get to take over the game with 1 item. They get to kind of burst you out in the mid lane. Nautilus is permanently playing at half HP because Lucian jumps on him. Same with Varus. Let's get into game. And I'll move my camera. All we are is incompetent. Kira, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Move the camera down here. Oh yeah, I was in the crowd here somewhere. Did they show me? I don't think they did. Was I there? No, I'm further over. I'm like sat over like in the next block. I'm sat down there in the corner. Actually, there's a point where what's his name? I think it's this guy. He keeps looking over at me. He's like, "Are we winning?" And I'm like, "I can give you some advice, maybe." Okay, let's see where my camera's. Yeah, camera's fine. Actually, I can do better than that. I can be big mirror. Okay, right, let's get into it. So let's have a look at the 3v3 bot. How do Fnatic want to play this? Survive to 1 item. Don't lose. I'm gonna move that there. Survive to 1. Yeah. So before level 3, this team is really, really not in a great place. By the way, it's really not in a great place. Hail Blades on the Varus. We know it's poke Varus. There's no really... Yeah, I mean, you're lacking some consistent damage then as Fnatic. GT rather, as GT. You have barrier on Noah. So they are expecting to get hooked level 1 and to maybe win around that, which means that they want a fist fight. They really want a fist fight level 1 and just try and stop the Nautilus having HP to engage on them. Actually, no, do they? I mean, I think they're okay without fist fighting. Ah, yes, it's important. Let's watch back at this again. Let's see what Mickey does. Does he even stick around for the auto attack? Watch this. Okay, so he does auto attack. He uses the glacial to make sure that they can't follow up. Okay, and this is important too, right? Because the barrier only works when you trade onto the person with the barrier, folks. It's quite simple logic. So you go onto the person without the barrier. You try and get as much damage possible as you can. So Yike is full clearing from top to bot. He's not going to be at bot lane at the earliest possible opportunity. Hans using his slightly larger range than the Lucian to... Ooh, if that hook lands, that's nasty. So I think the passive auto from Lucian, from Nautilus will be back up again on him. Okay, good stun. And then, as we said, like, Vladimir gets to a point where he's really, really obnoxious in this matchup at, like, 1 to 2 items. And also in... God, there's a lot of... he doesn't use his barrier. He could have actually used his barrier to get a hugely winning lane state here, actually. Caps is hard trading in mid lane to make sure that Humanoid can't go mess with junglers early. I think that's fine. Level 3 to level 2. He's going to teleport back to lane anyway. This is something that happens in mid lane quite a lot. You know that you're going to recall on the next wave or something like that, and you can be like, well, it's fine. He also has Fleet Footwork, Door and Shield, and then a pot running as well. So in this case, he's actually not even forced to recall. However, the logic still stands. You can hard trade just to make sure that neither of you can roam, because G2 potentially want a 3v3 bot lane. Problem is, Vi's now level 3 with double buffs, so she's actually a strong champion. Mickey could even die here. Yeah. Okay, heal comes out. Hey, thanks for the follow, Struggy. Ooh. So... I mean, I am very surprised that Yike didn't come down towards bot lane earlier, actually. Now you've lost 2 summoners. John burns the heal. But you really want to be brutalizing this Milio Lucian before they get to a point of power.
All we are is...
That's a follow Resto. Resto. Okay. Razok's gonna... Okay. Wow, he's actually walking straight in there, huh? He's gonna get his Q blocked. So his flash is gone. Alright, flash for free. That's nice. So now Razok can't impact bot lane nearly as easily. Early laning phase was pretty good from Hans and Mickey. Really need to see what they can do to shut down this Lucian Milio, though. Like, I feel like the onus is on the Varus Nautilus to do something about the Lucian Milio. Because if they ever get to their 1 item mark, it's a mess. I mean, in Europe, maybe it's different because you need to get some shallow vision to make sure that Lucian Milio is safe jumping forwards. But if you ever get that, then they're just unstoppable, right? And you're not even against something like a Maokai, which is one of the better answers to Lucian Milio, you know? Can Fnatic win today? We will find out. G2 looked good in the last series. Ah, oh, Mickey, buddy. Okay, we're going to go clear the screen of text now. I think G2 have actually done pretty badly at playing towards their win condition here. They should be 3v3ing bot much more effectively. If this is JDG, they've already killed you. They've already got 2 kills bot side. And the game is effectively over. You should be getting You should be getting kills pre-6. Legitimately, you should be. So I actually think G2 have not had the best understanding of early games. I don't think their early games are looking particularly good. I think that's one of the worst things about this team right now. Don't get me wrong, I think their mid games are fantastic, and that's why they're such a relevant team within Europe. And I think that's something which, you know, actually, we could even watch the G2 series after this, you know? We can maybe, it depends how much I'm feeling it. But, oh, let me just quickly put it on to 2 times speed again. But yeah, I think that G2, the early game comprehension was not great in this series, and this game rather, because it's only the best of 1. But I think they look better against this Giant X road that they demolished. Okay, Caps finally uses teleport back to lane at 55 CS. That's really good for him, actually. Like, you're gonna get, like, Alternator plus whatever here. Yeah, he's in a really good spot. And now suddenly with Alternator, you can get kill pressure onto the Corki. Now that, hang on, now they're diving. Hang on. How did this come about? Hang on. Let me go back to this. Sorry, I was concentrating on other stuff. So he gets Dragon, so they know he's on bot side. Vi's on top side, and they see him taking grubs there. You have heal coming up in a couple of seconds. You have barrier. They need to do this. You need to get kills pre-6. It's very important to do this. So Noah's just hiding around the turret. Ignite gets dropped, so the heal can't get full value. So, yeah, it doesn't flash out of the W. If he flashes out of the Shin's out W, does anything different change here? I don't think it does, because they're about to juggle aggro anyway. Okay, I guess the hook in that. Mickey dies, right? Yeah. Oh, levels up to 6. Yeah, I guess to wait for his cooldowns again. Ugh. Is it better for Yike to get the kills, or it's better to get for Hands to get the kills? 100%, isn't it? Would have been really nice to get. I mean, that's just really disrespectful for Fnatic to stay under turret, isn't it? I mean, you know that as soon as. Hang on. Okay, let's have a look at this again, right, folks? Because if you view it from their perspective, you know, right now, 6:30. You know that this is a problem. You know that this is a problem. Because Humanoid just oh my god, this is even worse, folks. They literally just double teleported their solo laners back to lane. Razork is spotted on grubs. They don't know that he's spotted, but you know, he's not there to respond. You are completely alone here, folks. 30. How long does it take him to get there? Guys, you have a full, like, 10 seconds to get out of there. With 10 seconds walking backwards, you're in a turret, folks. That's a big mistake. That's a huge mistake. I don't care if your heal's coming back up. Could they have tried to clear the wave? No, they can't. They can't clear the wave. Wait, can they? No, they don't have enough wave clear. They just leave. Just leave, man. Mickey takes aggro with the ignite. That's really good. That's fine. He knows he's dying for it, but this is fine. They get to re-engage aggro again. Force out the flash. He didn't even use his heal on that play too. I don't think the heal matters. The heal doesn't matter. He's dead anyway. They should just never be under that turret. That's super disrespectful. Super disrespectful. You should never be dying there, folks. Not really. You should just be gone. I get that you give up like 2 plates. You give up 2 plates, but that's just not good, folks. You can't play like that. Not against G2. And now suddenly your Lucian Milio lose 2 plates. They lose a lot of kills. They've done really well in the early 3v3, which is where G2, I think, should have gotten that advantage. The dive there, though, is not... They should not be dying right there. That's a mistake. That's a lot of... That's a big mistake, in fact. That's not good. Right. Okay. Now, Razor's getting in towards bot side. What's happening here? What's happening here? Because actually, to come back out onto the map, Razork's actually quite strong. They have the wave push, so there's no one responding there. Shinzao's on top side. They know that he's just gone through bot side, so he's unlikely to return back again to bot side because... Okay, so put it this way, right? Yike came through bot side, cleared through here, went towards Dragon, went towards the bot lane dive. That's vaguely the path he took on the real map here, right? Which means that the next time he resets, which they know he's now done, he's on top side, right? Typically, junglers have to make a play on one side of the map, so you'll either play towards, like, you know, you'll go through bot side and make a play, recall, make a play through top side after you've cleared through there. Even if that play, quote-unquote, is put in our vision, you typically alternate sides of the map in which you're playing. You typically don't drop whole sides of the map to make something happen. Oh, but actually, that's not true, because the camps are up on bot side. Huh. No, I mean, I just went towards Dragon. Huh, wait, no, he should be on the bot side. He should be on bot side. But, yeah, ignore that then. Because if you're clearing towards a play, that's fine. Yeah, and this is why you pick the Vi. But they... I don't know about this one, guys. Lethal tempo on that as well. Oof. Nice. We'll play by caps. This is a mistake, though, from Razork, surely, though. Because he's hovering towards his top side. That's the slow. Pfft. I think you'd leave, don't you? Oof. God damn, that was close from Humanoid, though. Even with John here first. I mean, you just walk into it. He blows his entire load on caps. He then is completely fine. Yike has lethal tempo stacking, so you're getting absolutely mullered. God damn. Kill goes to Akali. That's awful. Yeah. If a kill's going over to Akali is a big problem in this game. If you get enough kills on Akali, this guy's dead, and this guy's dead, and this guy's... Like, Akali with gold in this game is very hard to deal with in side lanes. You basically need to have Vi shut them down. There's no CC to deal with Akali. So if Akali or Vladimir get really, really strong, no one can answer them, and they kill your whole team. This is not the area of the map you want to be playing around, lads. Play around your early game Lucian. Your Lucian, I know they died, but your Lucian is strong. He's level 6. Lucian is better to play around than this. That's a bad decision from Razork. I think Razork is a really good player, but I think this is a huge mistake. This is not the area of the map you want to be playing on. You're on the wrong part of the pitch, lads. Okay, so now they're going for the bot side play again. Caps has Prio because Humanoid was forced back the last time. They've had full control of the bot side. Caps has chosen a really awkward angle for this though, man. He doesn't have flash this time. Razork has ult again. You have to have someone to ult through. I mean, this is just super disrespectful, Green Caps. This is a really bad roam angle. Yeah, that's just not good. Humanoid gets a kill back. That's probably not what you want, though. You still have heal from Handsummer as well. Yike can potentially go in with Crescent's Guard. So it's just the one and out. Vlad gets free pressure top. They live, but at what cost? Oh, shit! The WQ. Oh, did he tap the WQ for that one? He did. Oh, he saved it all that time. Poke Varus with his W is, like, absolutely insane. I guess Fnatic weren't tracking what was happening with the Varus W. It's a cooldown you actually need to track. Because, like, think about it this way. What's happening with Varus? When's the last arrow he fired? Because it's like a 30-second cooldown. So you know he's not used it now. You know he's not used it. He's not used it. He's not used it. He's not used it. He's continually not used it. First arrow. So you know that's not a WQ because that would have been way more damage. Even if he'd used it before this play, it would have been back off a cooldown now. I mean, this is just super disrespectful. Like, Varus WQ does insane damage, folks. He has a Yomu's and he's level 8. It's almost maxed out. He's got 2 points in his W as well. Folks, if you're playing tight margins of error against the Varus, you need to track his W cooldown. That's where a huge amount of his damage comes through. Okay, now they've overstayed. Like, you get those kills and you get out. I mean, this is just super disrespectful. You get like a warning siren. They shouldn't win that fight. That fight they shouldn't. This one they shouldn't have lived through that. That's super disrespectful of them, actually. That is super disrespectful. I mean, Caps already talked about this. Chooses a bad angle, uses the flash in the last play. Razork uses the little bit of CC that they do have to shut him down. This is just... I mean, hang on, could they have backed off a different way? Could they have backed off a different way? Thanks to the follow-ups, Dixit. I mean... Did you have to back off this way? I mean, you can just go back through Tribrush. Folks, just go back through Tribrush. For God's sake, man. Yeah, there's some rookie errors happening here too. I get that it's hard to tell in the moment, but like, they shouldn't be overstaying like that, man. And now you're at the point where Hans Sama is like half healthing people with random poke. Kuma Bear. I can't believe we've been followed by Bear. Okay, now what's happening here? So let's have a look at what's available. You have Breath of Life available from Jun, so this is not going to be the most impactful Varus ult of all time. Noah can jump onto Hansama, who doesn't have an ult to fire back. And there's a Storm Razor being built up by Lucian. He hasn't gone for the support item, maybe because he's been shut down too much early. The one true bear, I appreciate that. Yeah, this is a good angle from Noah, really good from Razork, yeah. I mean, like... I don't know, man. You actually can't catch Razork first here. He has his passive shield, You can't be putting your damage into the Vi. You need to... The Vi is the wrong target here. He has a Sundered Sky as well. He's really tanky, folks. Like, this is different if you've... I mean, is it different if you killed bot lane a million times? Probably not, actually, because they have killed them a lot. They have killed them a lot. I mean, they just used the wrong target there. That's wrong target selection, and that's a problem. You're giving gold you shouldn't be giving over to Fnatic. This is not where you want to be giving gold overs to. Because now Lucian's going to be empowered once again. Golden nuggets, thanks to follow, appreciate it. Have they always been golden nuggets, or were they just regular nuggets before 1999, or were they only golden nuggets in 1999? Rift Maker for Vladimir. Nuggies, yeah. Okay, Oscar's now in a pretty... Hang on, this is much better now. This is much better. This looks like a much better fight for G2. So, what have you got? You have... I actually don't think it matters in this fight not having Hans Flash, because... And also... So this is where on-hit Varus can't do shit, right? Because if he's walking over to this play, he would need to walk over to here to be valuable, right? Whereas with Poke Varus, he can walk over to here. So if you consider... How long is it going to take him to get there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's probably going to take about 7-ish seconds to get over here. Whereas you can probably spend about 5 seconds getting either here or... Yeah, about 5 seconds there. It's saving you 2 seconds on your response time. So Hans Sama can use his large amount of gold earlier at this point. If you didn't have Flash and they were diving onto you, then obviously that sucks. But Hans Sama is going to be fine going that way. Mickey doesn't have Flash, that's a little annoying. Lucian's going to take a little while to get up here. Lucian takes longer to get up to this fight than Varus does. So you're going to be fighting with a numbers advantage for a little while. Caps gets the blast cone. He gets the teleport movement speed. You can E over the wall if he needs to, or he can flash. Now Hans Sama gets to use his ult whatever now. Where's his ult going? Where's his ult going? Yeah, it hits Razork in there. That's annoying. Breath of Light's still available. They use it there. Okay. Razork gets right into... Shit, he gets right into the middle of things there. Okay, now Hans Sama not having flash is not great. How much can Broken Blade do? Well, they just overdived, man. I think it's okay. Hang on, let's have a look-see. Are you really looking for everything here, man? I think it's much better if Hans stays, like, around this... Well, I think it's much better if he stays around here. Or maybe not under turret, but, like, as soon as you face him under... Force him out from out of turret, just... This is too far now. Because you have Corki who can teleport to either there or there, and... Well, you assume that they have other teleports. At least you know he can teleport here, right? So he has 3 different teleport options. You've taken long enough that Lucian can join the fight from up here, and you've used most of your threat, so Noah can actually do damage too. This is just an overdive from them, man. I don't even think that hook hit. I think if Mickey hits that hook, I think he actually really regrets that. Because I think Mickey dies at that point. Like, this should just have been a free turret, man. Razork gets right onto Hans Sama, who has no flash, and if he returns damage, he gets hit by tower, because he's in tower range. This is an overdive. This should have been... This was a great angle. The angle being made was awesome. Okay. Yeah, I can't do shit. G2's early game is so misdirected, man. What? This is just so unwise. They're just hoping they can hands diff with the player and the actual body part. Does he have pool? No, he's fine. Oh, wow, he really wins that play, huh? Okay, let's speed it back up. Okay. So, gold is G2 advantage. They get the tower. They could have taken the tower for free, man. Does he die here? Nah, he's alive. Cool. Use the pool well. Fine. Corki's gone for more second, importantly. He's just died. Yeah, that's an overstay. So this is a concept which happens in League of Legends. I want to talk about this real quick, so I'll pause it, right? Right. So the play happens on top side, right? You know they have at least one ward here. But put it this way, right? G2 have just dove, like, between your turrets on this side of the map. They've just walked through this part of your jungle, through this part of your jungle too. There is no way in hell they didn't drop wards while they were doing this. Fnatic know that now if they play around topside, so for instance, if you push up here and you look for a fight here, there is going to be a million wards littered through the jungle. They know that there could be any number of wards left down. So after a big play has been made, and someone has gone very deep into one side of the map, you know that there are wards littered there. Now, what does that tell you? Where after this play is made, this stuff happens. Sure, whatever. They are timing the Vladimir TP. You know that he has that. As soon as Humanoid chases here, this is a mistake. This is a mistake now. He should never be on this side of the map. There could be any number of wards if you look down at the minimap. There could be any number of wards, like anywhere in this zone, and any one of them could get you killed. Like, I don't care that you've just used your Valkyrie. It's a long cool... Well, it's on 5-second cooldown, but, like, you've just used your Valkyrie. Teleport response is going to come through. You're at minimum losing your flash. Minimum losing flash. And you don't even have wards down into river as well. You know that Mickey's just left mid lane. This is very disrespectful from Humanoid. I think he clears a ward too, right? And they teleport... It even teleports onto a minion. But, like, there's... You don't have control over this side of the map. You don't have control over this side of the map. This is very disrespectful. He has a Maw, but you're not going to survive, you know, 1v2s, 1v3s. I think even if it was just Broken Blade, that's fine. He still kills him. Caps has a Shroud, maybe? If he has Shroud, he's fine. Yeah. Yeah, this is fine. Almost kills Razzle too, actually. Bloody hell. And he has Stopwatch. He had Stopwatch there too, so you're not getting a kill there. That's very disrespectful from Humanoid. This is how, by the way, folks, this is how Xiaohu won most of his MSIs. Because he knew that if you went into one side of the map, and then people tried to play back through your lines of visions that you left after that play, you can get a teleport to kill the entire enemy team. That's how he beat T1 at MSIs before. Like, this guy, like, that guy kind of revolutionized that style of playing. I think that's one of the things which I'll attribute to him most. So they just moved towards the... Let's slow down about this. It's actually being a very fast-paced game. This is what I'm going to call... So, KT Rolster SKT last spring. This is something which I noticed then. What you're doing is fast swapping now. There's a lot of concepts I'm talking about. I know this might be going a little bit faster in regards to the different tangents that we're going on. So if I draw out the map, right? This is your map. If you have, like, vision over here, so one team has vision, say like you got loads of wards like around this side of the map. If the enemy team then just decides, so we've just played up here, what happens if you just base and very quickly play on the bot side of the map? You don't get to use these, man. If you very quickly switch sides of the map, you can't really expect to have vision advantage. So because Fnatic, because G2 just made a big play towards top side, they're not going to have the same coverage towards bot side. They've tried to, but they don't have the deep vision, right? So they're not going to have a big teleport flank or a big angle. Broken Blade has to do that himself. Does that actually lead to anything here? I don't think it leads to... It means that they're not actually threatening the backline right now. Mickey has a bit... Yeah, they don't have the backline threat that they need. Broken Blade's coming through now, but it's just a little bit late, right? How much is Broken Blade going to do? He's got Ghosts. Yeah, so this is G2 kind of falling prey to the fast swap. Swana, thanks for the follow, by the way. I appreciate it. Yeah, so G2, they don't really pay their due respects to the map. Playing on sides of the map changing very, very quickly. Maybe that's only half relevant here, but it's an important concept anyway, so it's fun to talk about. I don't know how relevant it is to that one, but you can tell that G2 made a deep play on top side. They just went towards bot side as well. Derek C. God, thanks for the follow. I appreciate the Prime brother. Really appreciate it. If anyone else has primes and subs, obviously it means a lot. Absolutely no obligation, but it means an awful lot. Right, so now you've just hit 1.5 items. You're against 2 items in Oscar. He teleported for this. I don't know about that one, buddy. Not sure about that. Does teleport down from Oscar. No, I really appreciate it. Thank you. Helps support me keep doing what I'm doing. Okay, so G2 kind of threw a little bit of a gold advantage towards Fnatic in the last play or two. The one towards top side and the bot side, but Humanoid at least dying on top side was a bit of an overplay. Smack that ace. That's the floor. Appreciate it. Fnatic easy 2-0 sweep tonight. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I think G2 looked better in their last series. We might go and do that now. Yeah, I might go do their series there as well, just to kind of make sure that we've got like a good read on G2, so I'm not sending you guys away with a wrong, whatchamacallit. Okay. Deep dive, bloody hell. Okay, this is a very deep dive. They're stopping Corki getting much value, don't get me wrong. Okay, Oscar's now... Is he just dead here? Okay, kills a being. Right, so now you have split pushes on G2 who are really starting to open up the map. This game has happened so fast-paced that the vision lines have been really fractured. You're not getting perfect vision control, like ideal vision control. I know it's perfect, it's never going to be perfect, like completely all over the place. Another thing too, when you look at like death numbers like 4 deaths on a support in 20 minutes and jungle dying quite a lot too and stuff like that, because they spend so much time dead, they can't control vision as well. Watch the G2 series, was much better compared to this game, except for the game 1, which is surely one of the off games. Yeah, it was one of the games of all time, for sure. Yeah, I'll review it. I'll have a think about what G2 have grown from this game with. Because I think they didn't play towards their 3v3 bot side very well. And I think that has meant that the Lucian Milio has actually gotten into the game in a way which is kind of rough. But then they've played fast enough around side lanes that the game hasn't really been about the Lucian. So, when you play Lucian lanes, he wants to be, like, putting people to half HP or killing them in mid lane. Now, obviously, when you get kills like this happening all the time in side lanes, it's not really the same situation. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Fnatic want to be playing around mid lanes like that, right? Where, like, the Lucian Milio can very easily follow up, and Razork can get big lockdown kills as well. But when the plays are happening around side lanes, G2... are making it so the Lucian Milio, which is a large part of their power in this point in the game, is just not valuable. Oh yeah, Caps has like a really good play here. He's also been fed a lot of gold, which is very helpful. So he's just solo killed both solo laners within like a minute, by the way, folks. Like on cooldown, he's just been like jumping at solo laners and making a mess of them. Oh my god, and he goes back to... Bloody hell, Caps. He's just got 3 side lane kills in a row. This is great, actually. You know, actually, this is really good. This is really good. Actual real praise to G2 here. Most of the time, when Lucian loses in EU, I think it's the Lucian's fault. This game, because Caps has made the game... You know, typically Lucian wants to be playing around this lane. He doesn't want to be going over here and over here. Because Caps has just been jumping at side laners and playing really well and finding angles, this Lucian has never been in his favorite part of the map, which is this bit of the map. He wants to be here. He wants to be firing at people in the mid lane with his ult, with his 2 to 3 item spike. He doesn't have the rapid fire cannon, which is a bit annoying for him. I think that's maybe a mistake. But I guess in this lane where he doesn't have the support item, which I think maybe is another mistake too. Like, Caps has almost single-handedly made this game not good for Lucian. This isn't EU Lucian being bad. This is G2 knowing to play on side lanes against a Lucian. This is good. I like this from G2. Now they're going towards Baron. You're against the package. You force the teleport out. You want to just get your teleporting out. Can they do that, though? Can they do teleporting out? So Mickey's going to die here. Mickey is dead 100%. Mistook is kind of shit, don't get me wrong. Razork's dived very deep. Oscar is now going to be going in very deep, too. Caps doesn't have ult, and that's the only thing which is going to keep this from being a complete wash. 2 for 1. Okay, alright, fair play. They forced the TP out, which is pretty big. Caps now has TP advantage, so he can go to a side lane and look for another solo kill. BB's an awesome temporary frontline as well with the pool. He might get blown up in the next fight, though. There's actually something about Vladimir which people forget as well. I'll talk about that the next time, because I remember it happening once in this game. So, Vladimir, at this point in the game, very, very strong at about 1-2 items, especially if he's ahead of the game, because he has so much regen and you can't 100 to 0 him. Now, if it gets to very late game, Vladimir dies in the duration of CC, and he dies before he gets his healing off. So if he can't get into his pool, or if he doesn't have a Zhonya's or something like that, Vladimir at 4-5 items dies. Whereas at 1-2, people don't have the damage to one-shot him. If we get in towards late game and you have, like, we're at 3 items now. If you get to 3 to 4 items, Vladimir is actually quite hard to play in team fights. If you're very good at Vladimir, he can make things work. So right now, I mean, this is a sideline thing. This is different. Yeah, okay, that's a really good shutdown. That's a really good shutdown. But that does mean that they... No, is that good? Well, because you have a poke... this is another thing, right? This is another thing. There's a lot of stuff going on here. This is a really intriguing game. I'm glad I reviewed this one. So, if you go towards bot lane in this matchup, or whatever, and against this composition, Poke Varus doesn't have that much Baron damage. Akali is the worst Baron damage mid laner in the game besides maybe... Well, even Galio's got percent HP value on his Q. Worst person at killing Baron in the game in Akali. So, you go towards bot lane, you kill there. There's no real threat towards top side. Humanoid's already pre-cleared topside. This is good from Fnatic. This is good from Fnatic. It means that they don't have the Baron damage to threaten a response after the bot lane play. They get themselves topside wave clear, and they get themselves the mid lane turret. Now the problem is Akali is now going to, kill you to death there too. So that's annoying. Caps is now a big ass problem because of the death cap. But he did blow flash and teleport for it at least. Let's have a look see again. What's happening here? What's happening here now? Mickey died on top side because he just did Mickey things. Sons of job. Thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. You don't have the... Well, the Akali's back up. Jesus. Oh, it's level 16 Akali. Oh, it's so low cooldown, man. That is so annoying, actually. Humanoid's got some nasty items. Okay. Razork's used his mobility now. He doesn't have his ult. Razork just dies? No. Wait, he does. Okay, really good from Caps. Really good from Caps. Waits until he's full energy. Waits until everything's up. Waits until the VIQ's down as well. Ah, man. Can't get everything, though. Really good stopwatch. Yeah, that's nice. Really well played from Caps. I think Caps has played... So, Caps individually sometimes makes a lot of mistakes in his current era. But his understanding of the game and knowing when to make a play is really, really good. We've talked about him making plays in side lanes so the Lucian isn't a factor. That's got him to the point where he's super fed, and then he can be a really disruptive teamfight menace. I think Caps is having a fantastic game. I think that Caps has had a bad season. I don't think he's been that great, but, like, this has been a good game. This is a good game. Okay, and then they get themselves Baron. Okay, so now you have side laners with Baron who are insanely fed. Also, because Caps is being such a nuisance, Handsammer is just never focused on, like, ever. So, Right, okay. So, Fnatic, what options do they have? Next package cooldown is obviously going to be huge for them. If they can get to Eclipse, that's big. Is Caps just going to go for solo kills and side lanes again? I don't think you have enough stats, even with the Kaenic Rooker, to outlast Caps with a Void Staff now. That's really nasty. Also, this is another thing. So you have Void Staff on both of these. I would imagine Crypt Bloom's actually pretty good on Vladimir because it's got extra cooldown reduction as well. But yeah, I think that, I look at these two here. I think Crypt Bloom is better in team fights. I think Void Staff is typically better in 1v1s. Because you need to just limit the outright damage, mainly, a lot of the time. Okay, so Caps is just going to run at him, right? Counter-strike down. Yeah. Yeah, the Jax is really going to be just mashing this game. Oh, yeah, the Jax is going to get mashed by Akali now. Handsammer's quietly got to 4.5 items. Jesus Christ, that's a powerful Varus. Handsammer has never been under threat. I think this Varus is so much better than what they were trying to do with the Aphelios. With the Aphelios, they try and do the same thing where Handsammer is not the focus, but then like eventually he, yeah, but so he's kind of left alone in the backline while the side laners do stuff. With the Varus, you just get to do that from so much longer range, so much more consistently. With a better laning phase too. I think the Varus is so much better for G2. With the way that they're playing, trying to enable Caps and Broken Blade on side lanes, the Varus is so much better than the Aphelios. I'm glad that they've gone towards that priority. Yeah, don't get me wrong, Handsammer's had some good Aphelios games too, but like, that's because G2 are a good team, not because it's a good pick. All we are is Mike J. Anderson, thanks for the follow, I appreciate it. Okay, Cap's going towards Leandri's last. He's going for the mask. He could even go Riftmaker if he really wants. I think that's okay. Because what you can do is you can wait until like the Riftmaker ticks up to full, and then you get massive damage on your R2. That's a huge amount of AP, man. The gold lead is not out of control, and it is coming down to a 5v5, not down to side lane plays. That's a little bit annoying for G2, actually. Corki's getting towards his items. He went towards the Shojin and not towards the Eclipse, which is maybe a bad choice. I think Eclipse is probably better. Just because of the shield, honestly. Okay, oh, that's a really... Oh my god, that's a good Nautilus ult. We're going to go see a point, though, which is... This is exactly what I was talking about in regards to Vladimir not being actually very good late game. He can die in the duration of CC. So, good ultimates here. The Breath of Life means that the Varus ult is kind of just a wash. Razork, great CC chain. This is the problem with Vladimir late game. Vladimir can die in the duration of CC. At 2 items, that doesn't happen. At 3, 4 items, obviously it does. Okay, yike. Bloody hell, that's a good engage. Where's his E cooldown up? His E cooldown's up, he's gonna have huge amount of work. Ah, Caps goes too far there. Yeah, that's never happening, buddy. That's too far. Yike do be doing damage. Nice. Damn, son. It's messy from G2. I think Broken Blade overestimates his tankiness. He also doesn't have a Zhonya's too, so it's like you couldn't even tap that. It has to be the W, which is kind of annoying. Okay. I mean, it's Elder, right? It's an Elder. You kind of have to look for it. I get it. I mean, have they waited long enough now? Oscar's going to TP back in. This could be actually really dangerous. This could be an Elder steal. Very much so. Caps is teleporting in. He has ult. Oscar's teleporting in. He has flash and ult, which is really important for him. Great play from BB, though. Yeah, this time he isn't locked down. No flash Q available this time. Jun dies. Yeah. Oh, Noah. That ain't it. Don't think I'm rushing for... I mean, does Noah just die there? Yeah, the first E was not good. Okay, I take it back. Lucian, late game Lucian. Well, this is a mess. They just fought against Elder and almost won, by the way. That's... Broken fights with late game items with so much damage on the table. This shit just occasionally happens. Alright, well, okay, that's a lot of the Elder buffs actually gone. Fair play to Fnatic. I have no idea how they managed to get that much damage out of their champions at that point. Jesus. What the hell happens here, man? Okay, slow down again. So, 4-man Vlad ult, or 3-man or whatever. That's insane. It's 3-man, wasn't it? Jun dying for free is nice. It means you don't get to buff up the Lucian. That's big. Lucian has Navori, though. Ah, because he's going against Navori, he actually gets a lot of ability to just keep going through all of his stuff. Okay, back to live. We get ourselves arrows across the wall, playing against the Varus like this. So the Varus still has Elder. That's really not good. Another, like a WQ over the wall. He could flash WQ, by the way, over there. Oh, they have... Oh, because he threw the... This is important. This is important. No, that's just the game. Yep. This is how Hans Sama gets himself the pentakill, by the way. So he casts his ult. He has Cloud Soul. So look how fast he moves after he casts this. The Cloud Soul allows him to reposition to go around the back of the pit and rejoin the fight without using flash. And he's completely in range. And he's the only person left with like Elder at this point. So he basically gets like a double collector. Nice. He has flash anyway. There's no way he's not getting this. God damn. But that's honestly Cloud Soul diff. That is actually Cloud Soul diff. He gets the huge amount of move speed after casting his ult, and he just runs at them with like Ghostblade ult, Ghostblade Cloud Soul active. So the big takeaways from me this game are G2 didn't actually play well through their 3v3 bot side. I think there were some times where they overdived beyond where it was safe to, which is not something which we're, you know, that's what we know from G2. That's what they do, right? But on the whole, they made the game not about the Lucian. And this was a Lucian game that lost. Not necessarily because the Lucian was bad, but because G2 made it play around side lanes. Lucian doesn't want to be in side lanes. He wants to be pinning you in mid lanes. You can't play around side lanes. That was really good from G2. That was really good. I think that, you know, there were some moments they overplayed, but at least in that respect, that's pretty good.